There's a question that haunts the smartest people I know. A question they ask themselves at 2 in the morning in front of a glowing screen after another account has been blown. Why? Why? Why, when they have built careers, earned degrees, solved problems that defeated other people their entire lives, why can they not figure out the markets? If you have ever asked yourself that question, this is the answer. For most people who come to trading, the assumption is that the problem is technical. They believe they need a better strategy, a sharper indicator, a more reliable signal, a deeper course. They consume hundreds of hours of education. They learn 5 different methodologies. They get very good at talking about trading, but nothing changes. The account still bleeds. They still cut their winners too early and hold their losers too long. They still revenge trade after a loss, and they still size up after 3 wins and give it all back on the 4th trade. The mistake, you see, is not in the strategy. The mistake is in the operator running the strategy. The mistake is you. Not because you're stupid, not because you are weak, not because you lack discipline or talent or even capital or any of the other things you probably have been told you lack. It's because everything you know, every cognitive habit, every belief about the world, every reflex you have built over 30 years of being a successful, intelligent person is actively working against you in the markets. You are not bad at trading. You are miswired for trading. There is a difference, and almost nobody in this industry will tell you what it is. The traders who eventually make it, and there are not many, all describe the same turning point. The moment they stopped looking at the chart and started looking at themselves. That moment is what this video is about. Think for a moment about how you were raised. From the age of 5, you were rewarded for one thing above all others: being right. Test scores, homeworks, reports, promotions. Every reward you have ever received in your life has reinforced the same fundamental rule. Being right gets you the grade. Being right gets you the job. Being right gets you the bonus. Being wrong gets you embarrassed. Being wrong gets you reprimanded. For 30 years, your nervous system has learned that being wrong is danger. Not metaphorically, wired in. A signal as deep as fear of heights. Now think about what the world you grew up in actually rewards. Effort, routine, logic, following the rules, showing up every day, doing the thing you said you would do. In your career, in your education, and even in your life, these rules work. You go to work, you do the job, you get paid at the end of the month, whether it was a good month or a bad one. You make a mistake, someone has a quiet word, maybe a warning, but you still get paid. The mistake is absorbed, the system continues. Then you sit down to trade, and every single one of those rules stops working. In trading, effort does not guarantee income. Following the rules does not guarantee being paid. Logic does not always win. Mistakes are immediately, personally, financially expensive. And time that has rewarded you in every other domain of your life, time can punish you in the markets. The handful of traders who survive long enough to become profitable, and I mean genuinely profitable, not lucky for 6 months, almost all describe the same realization, that they had to stop trying to win the game they were taught to play and learn an entirely different one. Not harder, different. You have been brought up, educated, employed, and rewarded for an operating system that cannot run trading correctly. That is not a moral failure, it is a category error. A perfectly intelligent person running perfectly normal software in an environment that was specifically built to extract money from people running exactly that kind of software. Here is what I want you to understand, and I want you to read this part twice in your own time. When you put on a trade, you believe you are making an independent decision. You believe you are analyzing a chart, choosing an entry, managing a position. You are not. You're running a script that was written into your nervous system by every loss you have ever taken, every win you have ever celebrated, every fear about money you absorbed from your parents, every belief you internalized from the culture you were raised in about what success looks like and what failure looks like. Every dopamine reward you have ever felt when a trade went your way. The market sees them as predictable outputs of the same human brain that millions of other retail traders are running. The same wiring, the same conditioning, the same scripts. The market knows when you will hesitate to enter. It knows when you will chase. It knows when you will move your stop loss. It knows when you will size up after 3 wins. It knows when you will revenge trade after a loss. It knows when you will average down on a thesis that has already broken. It even knows when you will close a winner because you just feel the reversal coming. These are not your decisions, unless you have done the work, the inner work, that most traders never do. They are predictable outputs of a brain you share with millions of other people. The professionals understand this, and the difference between the professionals and you is that they are not that much smarter. They're not. The difference is, somewhere in their journey, they understood that the chart was never the enemy. You are the opponent. Your own conditioning, your reflexes, the 30 years of operating system that paid your salary and bought your house and protected you in every other domain. That is the thing that is losing you money in the markets until something rewrites it. Something deliberate, something built for this, something the survivors have all, in one way or another, found. Here's the part that matters most. You cannot delete the operating system you grew up with. It's not going anywhere, and you would not want it to. The world you came from still needs you to run it. What you can do, what almost nobody attempts and what the survivors all share, is build a second one, a second self. Trained specifically for this field, a second self that knows how to be wrong without flinching, a second self that knows how to release control rather than fight for it, a second self that understands that effort and outcome do not have to correlate every day to be correlated over 1,000 days. The work is not learn more about charts. The work is building the second self and learning when to switch into it. This is what trading actually is. It is the only field I know of where technical learning curve is finite and the psychological learning curve is the rest of your life. And there is something quiet and uncomfortable about that, because nobody else in your life is going to do this work for you. Your friends will not understand it. Your partner will not understand it. The trading bros on Twitter will mock the very idea of it. Your nervous system, the thing this work is for, will fight you the entire way. And so the question almost nobody asks, the one I want you to sit with for a moment, is where do you do this work? Where do you go to build a second self? There is no single answer to that question. Some people do this work alone, some find a mentor, some take a decade, some take a lifetime. A few never quite get there. But what's true, what every trader who has built the second self will tell you, is that the work goes faster, lands deeper, and survives drawdown better when it is done alongside other people doing the same work. Not signal groups, not chat rooms full of guesses, not influencers selling certainty. A place where work is taken seriously, where the psychology is the curriculum, not an afterthought, where the daily analysis is grounded and the long-form thinking has depth, where the people on the other side of the screen have done the work themselves and remember what the early hours of this felt like. That's what Innovation Markets is. Not a course, not a Discord. A platform built around the proposition this entire video has rested on, that the technical content is the smaller part, and the psychological work is what actually decides who makes it. 100+ hours of curriculum built around exactly that. Daily market analysis from people who called the October crash before the liquidation event happened and have been buying through the drawdown ever since. Weekly outlooks, live sessions, the institutional grade on-chain data that retail traders almost never get to see. A community of people building the second self at the same time as you. It's in the description. If anything in this video just landed, if you felt something click in this moment, then I want you to take that feeling seriously. The voice that is about to tell you to bookmark this and come back later is the same voice that has been losing you money for years. It is using the logic of the career that conditioned you to argue that the work can wait. It can't. The window for the trader you want to become does not stay open forever. The cycle turns, bottoms pass. The moment to be ready is before the move, not after it. The chart was never the opponent. You are.